on.
Hi guys, I am here with a true short story from our book When God Winks at You. And this one is called The Giver of a Gift. And then we start a whole new chapter of the book. Matt had a feeling that Corey was just one of those kids. The kind of high school freshman that others picked on. Glasses, shy, just a little too nice. That Friday afternoon, Corey looked somewhat lost, walking down the sidewalk ahead of Matt with a huge armful of books. Why would any classmate of mine be taking that many books home on a Friday, wondered Matt. He must be a nerd. After all, it was a football weekend with several parties going on. Just then, a bunch of boys dashed past Matt, catching up to Corey. "Hey, watch out," they shouted. Yeah, somebody did this to me too. Sending the stack of books flying in every direction. Accidentally, or on purpose. No, they did it on purpose. As Corey went tumbling, his glasses flew into the grass, and the scoundrels kept right on running, two of them turning to reveal large, self-satisfied grins. Corey was searching the ground for his glasses when Matt approached him. He looked up, his eyes filled with sadness. "Those guys are jerks," said Matt angrily, leaning down to pick up Corey's glasses and helping him gather his books. "I'm Matt Smith," he said with an outstretched hand. Corey's face lit up with a sweet smile. Offering to help carry some of his books, Matt learned as they walked along that Corey had recently transferred to their school and lived fairly close to him. Arriving at Corey's house, Matt again extended his hand. "Hey, there's a party after the game tomorrow. You want to come?" I doubt it. Those boys will probably be there, but maybe not. Corey looked surprised. "Yeah, that would be great," he replied. As the school year wore on, the more Matt got to know Corey, the more he liked him, and over the course of the next 3 years, the two became close friends. Corey began to model Matt's confident, good-natured personality. He opened up, was less shy, and more people wanted to be his friend. Corey, in turn, was a good support for Matt and others. He was better at math and science and had better study habits than most kids. Corey began helping those who were struggling. Because he was better grounded than many, they looked to him as a moral compass. Matt and Corey hung out together, double-dated, and shared dreams for the future. But there was something that Corey never shared with Matt until graduation. Corey had been named class valedictorian. He was nervous, knowing he had to make a speech. "Hey, you're going to be great," said Matt, with a pat on the shoulder, as they stood in their hats and gowns. Corey smiled and nodded. "Thanks." A few minutes later, Corey stood before his classmates and faculty and spoke with an authoritative, yet slightly shaky voice. "Graduation is a time to thank those who helped you make it through those tough years," he said. "Your parents, your teachers, your siblings, maybe a coach, but mostly your friends. I am here to tell you that being a friend to someone is the best gift you can give them. I am going to tell you a story." I don't want to cry through this. This page and the back of it. Corey took himself to that day when he was new at school. He was the geeky kid with glasses. No one liked him. He was out of place, and he had decided to end it all over a weekend, to take his own life. That weekend, he was going to kill himself. Who cared? Who would care? He did have considerate thoughts for his mom. How tough it would be for her to carry home all the books he'd collected in his locker after he was gone. so he decided to empty his locker on that Friday afternoon. Then he told how a gang of kids came along and sent him sprawling to the ground with all his things flying everywhere, including his glasses. Corey looked into the audience directly at Matt and smiled. "Thankfully, I was saved that day," he said. "I was saved from doing the unspeakable by someone who leaned down to help me up, who cheered me up and cheered me on, not just that day, but every day since. I would like to thank him now. My friend Matt Smith." Matt sat stunned. Who knew what Corey had been planning on that Friday nearly 4 years earlier? Who knew what a God wink it was for him to have been there just in time and done what it was in his heart to do? Corey ended with a poem. When someone's lost, aimless and adrift, take the time, give them a lift. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today you can be their gift. If you think about it, yes, if you really took the time to think about it, you probably have a story of your own that could have gone into this chapter, maybe several. Events that have long since slipped into the recesses of your mind, which you once granted the attention of a mere moment before shrugging them off as good fortune. It is useless to resurrect those stories once in a while, reminding yourself that God has nudged you, spoken to you, or caused some other action to occur that pulled you back from a brink of calamity through a personally delivered God wink just in time. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's story, and our next chapter will be on God winks on family. Always be nice to everyone, because you never know what they're going through. Even the happiest person could be the saddest. Good night, guys.